All righty.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to the grounds with Giles, Jones, who's hiding, Schlegel, and Cappuccino. Hey, the most unique show on the internet, as we know, because we're here, right? Right. Just a bunch of guys talking about life, doing the thing.
We say it is because it is.
That's right. Well, the one thing we haven't talked about a lot about lately is why we're here, right? A daily dose of encouragement, right? For people to help people understand, well, our craziness and maybe that their craziness, right? But just trying to help people get through this lovely life on the big blue marble, right? Like one day at a time, just to help encourage people understand that they are themselves and they are no different than anybody else, even though they are, right? We all go through a lot of shit.
Bumper sticker day here at the
oh boy. What do we?
Well, with that being said,
what do we got today, Drew?
Yeah, Drew, you had the idea.
BST, bumper sticker therapy.
That's right.
There we go.
Oh my God, there's a bumper sticker.
Hey, right underneath Cappuccino's armpit is our good friend Uncle Pete. Uncle Pete is telling you that's the URL. Just copy paste and become part of this show. We don't just want to hear your voice; we want to see your lovely face as well.
Yeah. And then for those of you who think that the camera might be off, we are expecting somebody else in the empty chair.
That's right.
So the camera will be completely centered once she gets here.
Says you.
No, it's driving my OCD crazy.
Yeah,
I can't.
it is me too.
No, I can't.
Move over?
I'm gonna just stop looking at it until she sits down.
Hey, hold on.
That actually worked. Yeah, it was nice.
Oh, much better.
That soothed your head.
I think it was more about
I'm all
the song.
fixed.
Change your perspective on things, right? It's that easy.
Yeah.
What are we doing today, Drew?
Hey, Don.
Good morning.
Yeah, you had an interesting comment that let's pull apart a little bit.
Well, so today, let's chat about staying positive. What authentically staying positive? What is your go-to? How do you authentically stay positive? Right? There's so much false positive out there. It's like you talk to people that come up. It's that I painted a picture and hey, everything's great. But the moment they want to walk away from you, you could tell a mile away that they're hurting or something's not right. So they're putting on a false positive.
First of all, let me pick your brain.
I got that one.
Yeah,
that was a pretty good throw, man.
I
used to be on
Ken
that
kind of rolled today. He'll be here all day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Try
he'll
the
be here
veal.
all day.
Try the veal.
That's right.
Well, you kind of said it though, huh? Like the genuine positivity, right? You do have to. People, you can always tell when somebody's faking it, right?
Yeah.
But you have to fake it.
Unless you're married to her.
Hey,
Jesus.
but
It's gonna be a long episode.
no. But especially when it comes to a mindset like positivity and responding positively to things and keeping good spirits and remaining genuinely positive, that does come from faking it until you make it. So the people who are faking it when they're going through the hard times are just practicing for when they don't, because if you let yourself fall apart when things get hard, then you're not going to celebrate when things go right.
Well, that's true. 100% true. And I think that to authentically stay positive is a mindset. It is, you know that bad things happen. There's bad things out there, and it's going to trouble you. And everybody goes through it. Everybody goes through it, no matter what. Hey, what's up, Cal?
And
Wow.
she joined us, so his OCD just shut off. So now
The camera is now completely centered on all four of us.
Wigging out about your sick.
Do not adjust your camera. She
No.
is
I'm
alive.
going to be
She is here.
authentically positive about that.
I told you guys it was going to be fine.
Right.
Ashley, Kelsey, Mary, whatever.
That's fine.
If you answer to it, that's okay.
He doesn't even know his children's names. The ones that
What's
he
your name?
actually knows.
What's your mother?
Right?
What?
What?
How you doing? I think it's interesting. So the reason when you brought it up, right? You said that why? You know what I mean? And then you started to explain it. So explain to me, kind of why you feel it's important, right, to bring this one up and to kind of ask people and get their perspective on it. And
it's a sign of awareness. It's about reminding people that you can try to fake it until you make it, right? But you should be on the search and how to better yourself in order to create that mindset to actually be a little more positive naturally. Bad things will happen to you. as you would say, as the bumper sticker would say, it's not about what happens to you, it's
How you react.
right, because we
Right.
hear that every show.
Right.
But
'Cause
it's
the
totally
honest to God truth.
it's totally true. It's about what
Right.
you do with it, how
Right.
you deal with it.
Right.
And it's so many, and you can spot it a mile away. You go to the grocery store, you see somebody that's that you see once in a while, and as soon as they see you, they pop on that smile. You can see it's a little bit forced,
Right.
but you know that they're just miserable. And probably because they don't know how to change perspective about their problems,
Or do you think maybe that's possible that they're afraid, right? And then this is kind of what I'm getting at. Well, because like for me, when I'm in a shitty mood, right, I don't always want to share it. I mean, I do like to share, obviously, that being who I am, but there are some times, and there are people that don't want to share for whatever reason. Might be embarrassed of what the problem is. I don't know, but they don't want to share. So, hey, it's great. And they walk away, or they don't want to burden you with your problems. That's where, for like me, in a way, I want you to, right? Like feel comfortable to say things, the authenticity to be you, right? A lot of people feel like they can't be, that they have to be this upbeat, happy-go-lucky person, or they're, you know what I mean?
Well, there's certain times for certain things too.
Right.
Like, if I was to share all the time, and the very first thing anybody says when they see each other is, "Hey, how you doing?"
Right.
And if they were to actually share after the handshake, like, I don't know, I've had a rash on this hand for the last 6 months, right? You're like, oh God, why would you even share that with me? But you could tell the sense of positivity of somebody that just naturally, it just vibes. You could just see it a mile away,
right?
Versus the ones that are, they're going through something. Everybody goes through something, and that's totally cool. But so I guess the question is what do you do to try to stay authentically positive?
What do we got Don saying over here?
Well, Don says, I think the best way to be positive is to be grateful. Some people don't start their day by thinking of things to be grateful for. I need to do more of that. It's 100% right. I mean, if you start your day out in a negative manner, I mean, it's got no place else to go but negative. That's a mindset, and that's actually, something that becomes a routine, right, to help you, because that is very important. When you wake up every day, if the first thing you're thinking about is your problems, that's a problem, right? I mean, we all have them, but
to be genuinely a joyful person, like he says, waking up every day with gratitude, I think that's a great answer to start out. I mean, you said, what do you do?
Right.
Waking up with gratitude. I mean,
that's good.
And that's a practice that's hard to get into, but it does work very much though. I mean, I found myself struggling over the years. Your first thing in the morning, you'll wake up, and depending on what you got going on.
We got Tim. Good morning, Tim.
Hey, good morning. You might go one direction, but then being grateful, or at least looking into the things that you do have going or not going, can help change your attitude. For me,
I named my morning wood gratitude.
Just grateful you can still get it up, huh?
And folks, thanks for tuning in this week to the Grounds.
Well, that's the Grounds. See you later.
No. He's definitely authentically positive.
His wife nicknamed it Burden, so that's all.
Let's let Ashley chime in here on that one.
First of all, it's great to see you again.
I know it is great. It's been a while. It's awesome.
You look fantastic, by the way.
Your hair looks great. Just want to throw that out there. As soon as you walked in, I was like, nice.
Thanks. I think like after the second day, people were calling me sir at work, which was I was like, I'm trying to wear lipstick here, but I guess this day and age that doesn't matter.
Oh no, not at all. I don't know why they would do that. It looks great. It looks good on you.
I think like the thing for me is just how you were raised, like the nature and the nurture you hang around. Because my grandma was like, if you're not going to go out there and smile, don't go out at all. And it's kind of along the same lines of if you're not going to say anything nice to say, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
So because you just don't know what everybody's going through.
That's right.
And like everybody wants to judge on the color of our skin. Like I get called white all the time. I'm not white. It's just the color of my skin. I'm a human just like you are.
Yeah.
So it's just you don't know, the pain that I've been through in order to make peace with that.
Yeah.
So it's just I think people just need to be more peaceful with each other. Like I work in retail all the time, and I work up in Twin Lakes, and it's like literally everybody's 80 years old and older, and they are a different generation. Okay, like I mean,
that's Scott's generation, by the way. I don't know.
I don't know. You can smile at them all you want, and they're gonna tattletale on you because they didn't get what they wanted.
Oh, of
they
course.
can't see it. That's why.
11 a.m. working at any bar that's been in business for more than 20 years. It's the same exact crowd. They go
Yeah.
straight from retail. They're like, "Hey, we're done harassing Kelsey at work. Let's go harass Steve.
Right.
Let's go knock on the door at 10:30, even though we know for the last 20 years they open at 11. Let's just go do that."
They're
Well-
definitely like a hard ice to break, but once you break it, they're so nice. So nice.
Oh,
They're
the
very
open-
good people, but they just don't trust a lot because they didn't see a lot
Sure.
in their world.
Yep.
You know? So I think
Yeah,
that's just the
rightfully so.
biggest thing with people. Just like smile and say hi, like, and people will literally like come out of their shell. You know, everybody's little turtles nowadays because of social media. People are so negative all the time, and
Oh,
everybody
true.
just wants likes and views. And if instead of saying something negative, just say something positive, and you'd be surprised when somebody's scrolling through their page at how much it makes a difference.
That's great advice. I love that.
Just actually, even for me, just saying, knowing their name, right? Like, hey, how are you doing today, Drew? Instead of, hey, yeah, how you doing today, Ashley? Or Kelsey, or Mary, or you know what I mean? But just it's that right, but it's that personal interaction for people to make them feel wanted, right? To make them feel accepted. I mean, it's the little simple things in life that help that people don't really do anymore, right? Like just, hey, a real, and to use your word, an authentic, what's going on, bud? I know his life ain't great right now. I know my life isn't great. I know your life isn't. We've all got shit, but it's still, yeah, things are good, and if he wants to share, he will. But I mean, just letting him know, one, that we care, right? And just knowing that, helping them understand that we've all got it, right? And that there's nothing wrong with trying to be upbeat and positive, right? But there's a point to where it's not good for you, right? To where it's the fakeness, right?
Yeah, condescending.
Right. I mean, but I love the one, hey, what's going on? Living the dream. Well, right there, it's like, well, let's go talk. You know what I mean? Because when you say that, there's some more underlying issues, which we all have. But I think, and my feeling is when somebody says that, I think they really want to share.
Yeah.
Right. But might be afraid to. So they kind of throw out this snippet comment snide. Would it be snide? Living the dream.
Well, yeah, I think so. First of all, I love my life. I think I'm blessed. I just have bad moments. That's it. Not a bad life. So those bad moments, they come, they go, and I get over them, and I move forward and I try to rethink of putting myself in somebody else's shoes that might be standing in front of me going, what does that look like right now? Right. There's a lot of people that are so in the dark space that their life is based upon if nothing's wrong, something's wrong. So something always has to be wrong. And then they love to share that. So you can bring a whole crowd down, one person, and then you got the other side of the spectrum where it's, hey, I've read so many books and I live based on these quotes of these books that I lived on, and they're just regurgitating it and they're not really taking in the knowledge of it. They just think that they're being positive because they're just spewing somebody else's
What do we
words.
get done saying? We got 3. I can't read from here.
It says, Drew, you are right. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no.
That's Don, you're awesome. Some people are not happy unless they are miserable. That's totally correct. They come from a long line of those people where I've had to fight to stay on the other side of that spectrum, and then because of that, there was a lot of, oh, Drew's a Nancy. He's a, whatever. So I live in the world of the mixed reality, the yin yang,
Right.
just like everybody else does. You have to have both sides. The one side doesn't exist without the other. But it's how you control it and you manipulate it. And as you visit on the Blueberry, you try to make the best of it and experience as much as you possibly can. Right. And I think that if you can share one great moment with somebody that's having a bad moment, you change perspective and you're helping people at least make it through that moment or that day.
Don's been hacked.
Don's been hacked. Oh, I did say Drew, you're right.
Oh, I'll send you the check
Yeah.
later.
No,
That's all.
it'll be a Zelle. Don't worry.
Wow. It's kind of,
I just feel like when we judge other people and they say like when we're like, oh, they look miserable, well, they might actually be happy. So what's the definition of you're happy versus my happy? It's like the word success. You know, everybody thinks that's money. Mine is more like my family and happiness is my success. So I feel like that's the biggest thing is we just have to understand each other's life and maybe be more open. Like, oh, that's pretty cool that you do that. In my eyes, I would never do that shit. But you know what I mean? Like, all power to you.
Right,
though.
but it's not so judgmental, right? You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
just-
Like for me, and that's perfect, right? Like that's their life. That's what they choose. Don't be judgmental on them. Accept that that's what they're doing and be like, if that's what makes them happy, great. It's not really affecting me or my life per se, right? And you know, it's not illegal. Like, great. Let them. If that's what does it for them, fine. And the problem for me is like so many people worry, and I've been at this point too. Like, what's everyone else going to think about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it? And it's like, well, why fuck that. Like, why do you do that? Obviously, it's, kind of like for us, the Catholic guilt. It was kind of inbred in us over time. And getting past that is really, it sounds easy, but it's really tough, right? To be authentic with yourself and appreciative of what you have,
You're
right?
Catholic.
And where you've been.
You're Catholic and on the
I was-
sex store. I'm not.
I was born and raised Catholic. Hey, hold on. I was born and raised Catholic.
Yeah,
Why
welcome
the look-
back to the show, Kels.
I love it. In what Bible verse do they say that I can't make people happy? Yes. Wait, doesn't it say do unto others? You have them do unto you?
That's exactly what it was referring
That's
to.
exactly
A
why I
double-ended
opened the
dildo.
door.
Yep.
Take that.
We have the right people in the right chairs, folks.
I
No
don't want to be
doubt.
sitting next to him. Like, thank God there's no lightning today.
Brown eye for a brown eye.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I gotta go.
It's been a great Friday, y'all.
That's our show.
But I mean, I think the simple things like that you brought up earlier, though, also I use the word doing, right? Doing the routine of being grateful, or at least understanding your situation every morning and being, I'm going to say appreciative, maybe not even grateful, just appreciative, one, that you woke up, right? I mean, that simple thing right there, we all take for granted. I woke up this morning. Yeah, so I should have. Well, not necessarily. A lot of people don't. And it's taking the little simple things that we all take for granted every day, all day long, going, well, I woke up today and I have water. I mean, simple, stupid shit like that. But we get so far blown and so past what really matters, right? Myself included, for many years, like the little happy things didn't matter. I got to do this. I got to do that. Well, it's realizing, right, that you actually have it great, even though you probably got it shitty. You know what I mean? That you've got it better than somebody else.
So the realization of what you really have is when you push your limits, right? I'm in the middle of watching Alone Australia. Okay, so do you ever see the show Alone? So it's a survivalist show.
Do it like Americans.
No, they can't.
G'day, mate.
They can't. All respect to Australians, but I mean, listen. So either way, it doesn't matter where you're from, but when you put yourself in these elements where you're out to survive by yourself with limited to no resources, you start pushing those limits. There's a guy he hasn't eaten in 21 days because for some reason he just can't catch a fish. He can't get his food. He can't, the water is stagnant. It's wet. It rains 248 days out of a year. Can't start a fire. Starting a fire is impossible. Yeah, they're on Tasmania.
I mean, think about that.
Boiling the water to get rid of the parasites. I mean, these are the things what they really do is they go, I'm going to tap out because I have a great life. What am I doing? I have it made. I love my
Put
loved
your arm down, you
ones.
stink.
Morning, Shayna.
So the two key words that I see are authentically and positive. And so far today, we've taken the word positive to mean happy. Positive does not mean happy.
Did we say happy?
Yes, you have several times.
No. Okay. No, I'm questioning you. Right.
Everybody is saying happy and grateful. That's not, you can be miserable and positive.
So positive being a better outlook.
Yeah,
Well,
like I
let
said, you gotta
me
fake it
push
till you
let me
make
push back on that a little bit. So positivity usually is formed from some kind of grateful happiness. There's usually an attachment to why you're so positive because you're grateful for something or you're happy about something. You're not wrong, but 9 times out of 10, you're pushing a false positive. You can be positive in front of your friends, but how you are inside is not authentic to that positivity. That's why I think
Can
the
I
word
give you the definition?
oh, sure.
Just so we're following. Happy can refer to a state of being delighted, pleased, or glad, or to a fortunate event or circumstance. It can also describe someone who is enjoying well-being and content or is showing joy. All right. So then, what was the other? We got positive.
You got your glasses on there, Grandpa.
You like those? You see the paint I got?
I like
on
how
top of
they
them too?
slide down on your nose. We already know where we're going here.
So positives consisting in or characterized by the presence or possession of features or qualities rather than their absence. That's constructive, optimistic, or confident.
There we go.
As a noun, it's a good, affirmative, or constructive quality or attribute.
So are you being positive because you're miserable?
You can be optimistic and miserable at the same time. You can be optimistic that you're not going to be miserable for the rest of your life, and that's
Right.
positive.
So
That is
I think it all
absolutely.
I think it all
Yeah.
does tie together though.
Right.
Because you do, I think staying positive is a reaction. It's a trained mindset. So when something happens, you can choose to let it shut you down, or you can choose to try to stay positive about your circumstance in the world. I do think a lot of that, I'm going to stick with Don's answer. I do think a lot of that comes with the perspective of being grateful, realizing the things around you, that things aren't as bad as they could be, and that you always have it better than some other people. And that you should be grateful for the things that you have. I think it makes it easier. It's not directly related, but it definitely makes it easier to stay positive.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like I
think
said,
there's
man,
connective tissue.
a lot of times I choose to stay positive no matter how I feel. And in those cases, like I don't think it's disingenuous of me to act positive, even if I'm feeling like shit. I just don't want to burden everybody around me with that. I don't think it's disingenuous to say that because I'm faking it. I'm staying positive because I know eventually I'll feel that way again. I'm training myself. I'm staying.
You're creating the mindset for yourself.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
and I don't think not feeling happy makes it less of a thing.
Yeah,
to try to
no,
stay
I get that. I just don't think. I think one connects to the other a little more great, a little more passionate to it. One does connect to the other side of it, versus being miserable and trying to be positive.
Right. Well, positive is an outlook, right? Happiness is a feeling. Can we go that way? Can we go that far? Positive, you're looking at things positively. Being happy is more of a feeling of what's happening.
Yeah,
right?
it's an emotion.
We could, positive and happy, how you put it, can play together, but don't always mean together, right? Trying to stay positive.
This got broken down to be so technical,
right?
real quick.
You could be positive and still be miserable. Well, no, it's good that he breaks it down like that because it makes you, good toss. They absolutely. Just because you're positive doesn't mean you're happy.
And this person always has an ability to take something and pee a little sunshine on it all the time. Like, oh, I'm gonna be happy. When you're happy, everybody wants to be happy. Look, you can be fucking miserable. You can be in a foxhole taking on bullets and be very positive.
Captain America.
Right, but you're not happy to be there, but you're positive that you're going to get out or do your job. That's a really, that's a really good point. How you bring that, yeah.
And we've got so many veterans, out there that come home who have PTSD and are miserable, but they're positive. Right? They're positive people.
Well, I think it connects to an emotion on either side. Either way, if you're miserable, you're trying to stay positive to try to flip it around. And if you're happy or grateful, that positivity is a little easier to generate for yourself, right? Now, how that shows out to other people, I don't know. That's perspective.
Shayna, you want to read it? Or you got? Shayna says, I am at my best when I have information, good or bad. It allows for action. Choice and autonomy are paramount. Starting the day with the acceptance helps me stay authentic, positive. Okay, and then Don chimes in and says, we can easily forget that we can decide each moment how we are. Happy, joy, sad. We tend to believe our mood is determined by things around us. Well, our mood is kind of determined a little bit by things around us.
There's your t-shirt for the day.
Is that the t-shirt for the day? I thought this one was.
Be a little sunshine.
Be a little sunshine.
Here, Tim brings up the point too.
Sally's father is battling lung cancer for the third time. We are staying positive, but certainly not happy.
True.
Perfect example,
Yeah.
right? You got to look for the outlet. You're not happy what's happening, right? But
Yep.
great comment, Tim. Absolutely appreciate that. But also really sorry to hear that you guys are going through that. That sucks.
Yeah, that sucks,
horribly.
man.
You know, we are here for you guys. If you need anything, there's anything we can do, please reach out. You know, don't. Yeah, can't leave it up there positively.
It does.
But I think I'm going home. Thanks for joining me today. Friday. Tired.
I think it's a little easier to be positive when there's not so much drastic bad going on, you know. I think the mindset of staying positive when bad things are happening is important, just the same. But I think it's an easier thing. And so what is it? I'm gonna go back to the original question. What is it that you do? Kels, what do you do to try to keep that?
I was just gonna say it's Ash. Leave her alone.
Ash, Mary,
Kate, Mary Kate,
Sybil.
Mary Kate and Ashley.
How about Eve?
I just go with Sybil at this point. Just like 13 of you.
That's only because of me.
What is it that
I mean,
you
it's not
do?
that time of month, so it's not 13, it's just one.
No, there's always 13. It's just that time of the month they take over.
13, they get to come out and play.
Right. What is it that you do? How do you try to stay authentically positive?
I think it's because I've seen like I was bullied a lot, and I've seen other people get bullied, so I don't want to put people through the same pain I've been through. So I feel like my purpose is to make other people shine, whether I have to be an advocate for them or just hold their hand on the sideline. Because sometimes you can be positive without speaking, and you could just be there as a presence.
Yeah,
So I think that's like my biggest thing, because that's
good answer.
I always say to people, like, what I provide is what I require. So that's how I am with people around me.
I like that.
That's
I
awesome.
really like what I provide is what I require. So you give what you get, or you want to get what you give.
Right.
Right.
And I feel like the term positive wasn't always in like the English language. Like when we got taught how to describe people, you never really like, especially being a cop, you know, when I was training for that, nobody ever said, was that guy positive?
You know,
You know
the
what I mean?
adjectives were visual.
Like, is that actually an adjective to describe somebody?
Right.
Or
Everything, all their adjectives were
Did
visual.
society just turn the word and we use positive, negative? Because that's used in math. Like I'm a math geek, and positive and negative are more used with numbers, you know? So it's like, are we all numbers? Is that how we're all describing each other? I mean, you have that movie like In Time where we all had to scan a barcode, you know, and it's just, are we
Well,
all describing?
do you have a social security number?
See,
Then you are a number. Absolutely.
So
Right.
I just don't know if that's the correct. way
Welcome
to
aboard.
describe it.
Kels, read that. I can't see it from here.
I don't watch the news and left all community social media pages I used to start off my day watching doom and
And
gloom
gloom.
news. And since I stopped, my days are much easier to stay authentically positive.
That's perfect. And, you know,
Mhm.
it's amazing that, I mean, I generally don't watch much news. I'll watch enough to keep myself informed. But yeah, I get, for me, you see these people, they literally wake up and they're watching all this shit. I mean, what a shittier way to start your day than to hear all the bad shit that happened. Being informed and knowing what's going on in the world is a good thing, right? But your first thing waking up, because a lot of people wake up, turn on the news, shit, shower, shave, and they're listening to all the bad. How do you run your day, right? Positively, right? When first thing you start out is just a bunch of bad. We know it's out there. I know it's out there. I choose to like encapsulate, but shut myself off from that stuff until it's time to bring it, to allow it to come in, right? So I can get my day going, get what my goals, what I'm trying to accomplish for that day before I let all the outside noise in. I mean, Tim, congratulations for you. And I'm glad that you're doing that, because I'm sure you feel that much better. And I've actually challenged quite a few people in the last few weeks to do that, to like stop, to get off that stuff, to start your day, to kind of change your routine, because it's hard to be a positive person when the first thing your brain grabs in the morning is shit.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to start your day right, let me show you what you need to watch.
216 Creator Studios, your gateway to professional podcasting. Whether you're a seasoned podcaster or just starting, 216 Creator Studios offers state-of-the-art podcast studios designed to meet all your recording needs. From crystal clear audio quality to a comfortable creative space, we've got you covered. With fully equipped rooms, expert support, and flexible booking options, you can focus on what matters most, your content. Join us and bring your voice to life in the best environment for podcast creation. 216 Creator Studios is here to help you create something extraordinary.
Hey, folks, don't forget, if you like what you see here today, go to the old YouTube channel there, 216 Creator Studios. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ding that bell for the future notifications. That way you don't miss an episode of The Grounds. Appreciate
Or
it.
any of the
Appreciate all the
awesome
support.
shows out here.
We're looking at you, Matt. I know you're
Yeah.
watching, and I know you
Do it,
think
Matt.
this is probably a rerun again this week. It's not. We're live.
What's that all about?
No, in the last 2 weeks, he's like, I went back to bed. You guys did reruns. I'm like, no,
We don't do reruns.
We
generally.
didn't. And then he was like, oh, there's your show. Yeah.
Have another shot. Yeah, where it says live.
We should come back one day. It's
That's
free.
right. Shayna says, try a fun game. Every time someone complains, let them watch, wait 2 seconds and ask, and then what it helps people refrain for a solution mindset. Retain. Okay. I need my eyes bald.
I'm positive you.
Did you talk to my parents?
It's
Okay.
a
good,
very
good.
hard language.
What?
English.
Shayna.
English.
Exactly.
Don says, I love it, Shayna. I ask now what all the time, more from problem to solution, and stress goes down. People say, I got screwed. I agree with them and say, yes. And you did. Now what?
All Scott was go down, and I got screwed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're kind of having their back and forth, but then Shayna says, I am that lady. I am very informed, whatever that means. My husband can't. In an opportunity to practice emotional regulation and human nature. I don't know. I mean, everybody's different and everybody gets to choose what they want, but that's the last thing I want in the morning time is, to get hit right away with just shit that you can't change, right? And that's just
I'll go back to what Bill said. It's like my authentic positivity is different from her authentic positivity. And I will never try to force my positiveness on her. Right? Because it's mine. Right? It's like energy. If it's positive, it's going to rub off. If it's negative, it's going to rub off, right? But I don't know what her authentic. She can be very positive, but look at the glass half full, and I'm looking at it like it's too small of a glass, right?
And or I got a glass at least. Right.
So the rub is when somebody comes and tries to spit their sunshine, happiness, gratitude, positivity on you, and you're like, what the fuck? Leave me alone.
yeah.
Oh,
You're amazing.
they usually knock at your door.
Well, those are the toxic ones, right? Like that's just like
Isn't it? They're very positive.
no, but some of to me, the people that come up and that are just so like I mentioned earlier, living the dream. Yeah, I think that they're completely opposite. The ones that come at me, at least this is how I feel. The ones that come at me that are just always so happy-go-lucky and everything's great. For me, I feel like those people are probably the most miserable because they're trying to put that vibe out there that I'm great, everything's awesome, and
So I don't know. And
nobody has that.
it's not always the case. Like I know a bunch of those people who are really intense, really positive people, and that's just where they live. That's where their mindset is. As soon as you talk to them, they're eager to try to not only tell you about the marathon they're running, but invite you to run with them today. You want to hit that 10 with me? Oh my God, we could get started right now. You don't run? That's cool. We'll do the 5. We'll go around. We'll get some snacks. Like it'll be fine. And it's like I'll give you a perfect example.
Me nuts.
I'll give you a perfect example. And I know Matt is watching. You should comment, buddy.
This is live.
So out in the shack, we had this guy. He came in, and you know who Matt is. You know how the vibe of the shack is. We're chilling. We're drinking. This guy comes in and he's like, yeah, I sell all these supplements and I do all these runs and I work out and like blah, blah, blah. I'm healthy. And, this is my lifestyle. And Matt's like, I'm not buying what you're selling. And this guy's face was like, oh, I wasn't trying to sell you anything. And he's like, no, you are. He's like, I don't want you to invite me on a run. I'm not going to be a part of your world. Like this
He
whole
puts natural supplements on the bar. He's like,
that makes you happy is not for
Take a
me.
couple of these.
He's like, so I'm glad you're doing it, but I'm not buying what you're selling. He's like, I'm not trying to sell you it. And Matt's like, no, you are. You're trying to sell me on your lifestyle, on how happy you are, the whole thing.
right.
And I watched this interaction and I thought it was funny because it's like, this guy is 100% genuine. That's just who he is. But just that energy was not what he needed. And
Time and place on that shit, right?
I think that type of energy, that positivity is like a commodity. It's a public service you're providing. I mean, you burn yourself out going out to public engagements with other people. You burn your social battery by bringing your energy to any event. And when you're done, everybody who encountered you, whether you felt like shit, whether you were having the worst day or the best day, as long as you brought that energy, though that's what those people took away. They took away that positive energy, right? So you gave it to them, they took it, and so it does spread. It spreads out into the world, but it is so draining. I watch my wife do this all the time. She gets emails from people and they're like, hey, that networking event was so nerve-wracking, but you were so sweet and so kind and you made it so much easier and I really appreciate you. And then it'll make her cry because she's like, I was, fucking miserable during that. That was horrible. But she comes up and she's always the brightest, most bubbly person in the room. Now, when I hear the word authentic positivity, she's not feeling that ever. She doesn't like networking, but she goes and she brings that energy every single time. She's trained herself to do that and she works very, very hard at it. There's nothing more genuine than that to me.
Correct.
I don't see that as disingenuous, even though she doesn't feel it.
There's people that gaslight that a little bit too, right? Like I had a manager once when I was younger, walk into the store and he was like, hey, welcome to another great day here at the store. I'm like, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing good. Fantastic. It was so
Is that guy
like,
in jail now for killing people?
he might have had a barrel of dead babies under his stairs. I don't know.
No, just
Well,
that,
You know what I mean? I mean,
that's
listen.
the thing, right? When you
listen,
see somebody like
when
that,
I
you
say
gotta wonder.
so when I say authentic,
you mean not car salesman?
correct.
Yeah.
It's not like
I
trying
get
to
you.
sell it. You
I
follow?
get you.
So and it's okay to be positive, just naturally. Like it's okay to be like, hey, that's awesome, man. I heard, hey, good job on that thing you did, or congratulations to the award you won, or something that's natural. Versus, like, hey, at the end of the conversation, you're gonna get a free picture frame with every order. It's like, no, what are you doing? And those are the people that you really need to be aware, afraid of, almost just due to the fact of you really don't know behind the scenes of what's happening there for that forcedness. Now, listen, I'm not gonna poo-poo on religion or anything, but I've had it where it's like, hey, but if you believe in this, you're gonna blah 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 blah. And we should, and it's so fake that it's like, listen, and I was told once that we know what drinking the Kool-Aid is, right? We know what that is. There's some people that don't. They just think they can add their own sugar to that, which is the dumbest thing I ever heard. Right. When you drink the Kool-Aid, you're joining the cult.
What we got from Don and Shayna.
And so when are you going to drink? Are they looking for the attraction to somebody else being like, I want to be like him, so they can draw him in and teach him how to be part of that cult? I don't know, but it's not authentic. And some people can't see that, maybe it's just not awareness, but it's okay to be organically positive. It's okay to be negative too. Let's not go. Negativity and positivity. You have to, like numbers, you have to have both for shit to work, right? But to be authentic, what do we got here?
So Don says some people are just so comfortable in their own skin. Kent has some of that in him. It's a good thing. And Shayna responds with, the social structure falls if everyone becomes okay in their skin. People want authentic until being around them makes you feel less. I did not understand that when I was younger.
Oh, wow. Great
That's
comment.
Very insightful.
Yeah.
That made him think, Shayna. Well, yeah, just gotta digest that one a little bit, right?
You can't have good without bad.
Right. Well, and that's it. And that's the
You can't have
thing.
good without you.
The people like your guy, oh, welcome to a great
Right.
day. It's like, well, okay, I get that. He's trying to maybe pump you up so you have a good day at the store, but you know what I mean?
So
The people that are overly happy a lot of times, or you're saying not
Does that want to
non-religion.
pump you up though? I mean, does that
No, to me,
it just makes me want to punch him in the throat?
So
it doesn't make me want to punch him, but you know what? When I
it
see
depends.
that, I realize that that's not really a way to live, right? Like you can't live that. You can't sustain that type of thing. Like
I
people that
can't
say-
trust that.
Right, exactly. So
I
for me,
can't
I go,
trust him.
when you're that right.
That's
when you're
how I
saying
feel
that's
about
going, okay, wait a minute. I get it. I'm living this world. I'm living a life, so I get. How do you do that? To stay that way doesn't make sense to me. So then my shit detector goes off and going, do I want to play into this? And you can appreciate
Shit
what your guy is
detector.
trying, right? You
I
can
love it.
appreciate what your guy's trying to do, right? He's trying to get you happy and motivated for a good day at the store. But at the same token, being realistic, hey, welcome to, it's going to be a great day, or make it a great day, even though you might be shitty, things are going on, right? I mean,
well, so like Shayna said, it's only lame if it's fake.
right. Well,
So if it's fake, but
Right.
if you have a manager at work and you know that guy is just a genuinely bubbly, positive individual, or she, and you go to work and you see that genuinely bubbly, positive individual,
But it comes off that way.
it comes across that way. You know who they are.
right. But it would also be, that would be one you'd want to, for me, it would be like, what are they really like outside of this? Right. So to where life really kicks in and they're real people, because let's be honest, when you're doing a job, especially managerial or something, you're not your real true self. You're playing that job, that role to a certain point. Does your personality come out into it? Sure, it does. But you have certain things you can and can't do.
It's very factual.
Right.
So-
Right. If my personality came out, I'd have nothing. I have to play a role of an owner, an operator, a manager, a whatever. Right. I have my personality is mixed into it. Right. But there are certain roles you have to play. That guy is playing a role, right, to get you happy, to get you pumped up. So the business does well that day. But realistically, for someone to hold that type of energy and be that positive all the time, really, I'm going to use the word again, brings up my shit detector. Like what's really going on.
So Don brings up a really interesting point about that. He said, we seem to be judging the people who are almost always positive. We should learn more about them as they might be 100% authentic. So your perception of that individual as being really fake. I mean, maybe that person just has it figured out. I've met people where I spent a lot of time with them and I'm like, man, I want to think this guy is full of shit, but I think he might just have shit figured out. Like I want that guy.
You're not wrong.
Yes, I like that. That was
a good point.
That
audience got quiet real quick. The thing is when people are like that, like they've, being grateful, or I'm going to use the word accepted, and I kind of don't want to use. So, but they've accepted who they are, what they are, and what their life is, and what they have, right? So I don't want to say settled, but this is me, this is my life, this is what I'm going to be, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Or I'm not happy with it, but I can't change it. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to deal with the cards that I'm dealt, right, and make the best of it, because nobody can be 100% positive all the time.
I like that shirt, by the way.
I'd smoke.
I smoked that chicken, pig, and beef pig.
Yeah, pig and lamb.
Another great shirt would be turn on your shit detector and pee a little sunshine. I think I might make that shirt. Get a hold of Tom, please.
I just, you said, when you said authentically positive, that took me honestly right away to realistic, not positive, not authentic, just being real. Being real and accepting things for what they are. And every situation's different. Right. And letting people know that, right? I'm real. Hey, today I'm in a great mood, right? I woke up good. Everything's good. Things are going well. Yesterday, not so much. I'm real about it. Hey, how's it going? It's not bad. I got some shit going on, but I can't complain. That's usually my answer. I can't complain because I know you're not going to listen anyway.
When I'm being authentically positive, I'm a little more quiet.
Very observant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a little more like, I'm a little more quiet. I'm a little more real. And listen, I'm unfortunately for some people, I'm the guy that will hurt your feelings to tell you the truth. And that's me being positive. because
that's
I
being-
want to see you win.
That's
Right.
you being realistic.
Right. That's
That's
being
not
real.
positive.
That's
You're being realistic,
that's
dude. You're an idiot. Don't do it no more.
authenticity.
You know.
Right. And there's days where I put on a fake positive because I might be going through something that day, and like you
As we
said,
all
I'm not
do.
looking to bring everybody down, so I'll force that smile and be like, oh no, everything's good, everything's fine. And in a man's world, it's always you're either angry or fine. There's no gray area, because when you're asked, how you doing? I'm fine. But then you're
Freaked out,
angry.
insecure,
Right.
and
You
emotional.
Just push it down, right?
Right.
And so when you're realistic, you're able to be a little more open, and you have to have the sensibility of like, I'm going to say this for this guy's benefit. And if he doesn't like it, that's on him, but at least I didn't lie to him.
Right.
You are who you are, no matter what.
Right.
To me, that's positive. And that's authentic and it's real.
Right.
That's why I think everybody in this room gets along pretty well, because we all do that.
Right.
For the
Well,
most part.
like for me, so my family, I come across, I always call myself a realist, right? Because if you really hang out with me a lot, I am not like positive person, right? I try to look at the positive side of things, but I'm realistic with things, right? And so I'm one of those guys that you'll be like, oh, this, that, the other, and I'll look at it and go, well, you know what I mean? And some people will be like, well, you're poo-pooing on it. No, I'm just being realistic. I'm looking at what I see.
Sure.
It's not meant to be negative. It's meant to go, this is what it is, right?
Well,
I'm not
most
going
people-
to puff it up.
And I can't speak for everybody, but I grew up in a world where you expect the worst and you hope for the best.
That's my
and so now as I've gotten older, I've learned that doesn't work for me anymore. I plan for the worst. I never have to hope for the best because it's already there.
Right.
Because I've already planned for the worst.
Right.
Therefore, there is no hope. It's already there. I'm already happy. I'm already content.
The reason, I kind of live by that statement as well too. But the reason I, plan for the worst and hope for the best. I'm going to just take on a business, right? I look at what's the worst case scenarios that can happen, right? So I'm doing my due diligence. I'm looking at what can happen, right? Okay, that's what can happen. How do I get to there? Well, there's going to be a bunch of nut factors that are going to make that happen. But I'm going to stay positive and hope for the best and realize that this is a possibility. But if I do that possibility,
You're aware of both sides.
Right, it lessens more and more and more. So I protect myself.
Yeah.
Shayna says the issue with being authentic is people think you are performing. They try to play up without the tools. Authentic people ruin the play that people have perfected characters for. Don says 2 points on Drew.
Oh.
1, I want my brother to be more positive. 2, I love when people care enough about others to tell them the truth. Absolutely. But sometimes those people don't want to hear the truth.
True.
Right. And that's where the positivity can really be toxic to people, right? Being a realist to a person, right? And being authentic with them, because I'll ask people, because you know me, I tend to throw my shit. I'll be like, do you want to know my opinion? I've been really practicing that instead of just spewing out my bullshit. Hey, do you want to know what I feel? Right. Which actually the person will actually listen to me more because they actually get an opportunity to say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. Because
I don't remember you ever doing that with me.
I haven't, because I don't care what you think. No, because
Outside of the realm.
because you guys get me and
Yeah.
you know that's where I'm at, right? I mean, I don't like inauthentic people, and I don't like overly positive people.
No, but in that situation where you do have to relay something, as a realist, bringing a positivity into that situation never hurts. You're saying where the positivity can be toxic is by saying those things. But if you're going to say them anyway and just call it being realistic, if you're going to go ahead and have that confrontation with somebody, whether it's somebody you love, your kid, your coworker, or whatever, bringing a level of positivity into that, staying in negative or something that might potentially be negative in a positive way. I mean, that's just common sense skills, life skills. People do that all day, breaking bad news to people in a positive light to make it easier.
Shayna says, I've stopped myself 2 times, but I'm going to say it. Kelsey's hair looks fab.
Agreed.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
Yes.
You. We think as well.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Don chimes in and says, if you tell someone the truth, it may not end well. Challenge is Challenge is to speak in a way that they hear it. Can't make them hear. You can't make them hear it, which is exactly true. You know, and it's up to them and how you present it, right? I mean, if they're going to take it.
So, how do you authentically stay positive? For me, it's understanding I'm just a little speck on this big.
Mm.
The world is bigger. There's a far much bigger universe force. I believe in God. In God's got the wheel. God's driving, right? So when I go through something, it's a lesson. I'm getting a scar. There's going to be a story, but there's always going to be something greater on the other side. Right? So you got to get through it. That's how I authentically stay positive. It's like this moment in time. Now it's gone. Now we're in this moment.
Right.
Right. So for me, I practice mindfulness. I stay present in the moment.
Right.
And if I can't stay present in the moment, then I can't stay authentic myself.
Well, but
Right.
when you looked at it being realistic, though, you're realizing that you are just a speck on this blue marble, and that you have a great life, and that you have problems, you got this, but you're accepting, right, of where it's at, and it's, hey, this is what it is, this is what I am. Great, I'm going to move forward, right, and keep moving on instead of you're grateful for what you have, you understand what you have, right. And you think about it. A lot of people don't think about these things. A lot of people, we've lost the ability to really look at things from the outside perspective, right? I mean,
A lot of people also do. You can't make that comment. A lot of people also do. You're kind of generalizing.
I
too.
am.
Everybody doesn't think.
If you
No,
know
that's
me
not
long enough,
true.
I do use a lot of the words everyone.
Yeah,
all,
you're
this, that, and the other.
generalizing.
Right? And I don't mean to downplay that, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make the point that he is being realistic with his life and what he has and what it's all about, right? And he's grateful for that.
Yep.
That is a positive outlook. That's a positive
Kent
outlook.
is perfect.
No, he's
I
not.
mean,
Ken is the most broken person in the world, but he's the most awesome person in the world. Just like me, just like us. We're
What a
all broken, right? Yeah. He gets it. He
called
gets
jealousy.
It.
Right.
Call it gratitude. He deals with what he has. I deal with what I have. You deal with what you have, right?
So
and we're grateful at the end of the day, and we try to stay positive
So,
to move forward.
I would like to take the quarters out of you or unplug you for a second. So at least these two could at least get a word in of some kind.
Yeah, why do you sit him in between us two?
I don't know.
I do want to emphasize.
I need to
that
go
I'm
back
sorry,
to Galena. I don't
but
get a
Don
chance
thinks
to touch
Kelsey's
the
hair looks
socks,
better
see?
than yours. He said so.
Well, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you know
I'm
what? Your
having
hair
a-
does look
I'm having
great
a bad
today,
hair
but
day.
Yeah,
I'm having a bad hair day.
I
Don-
can see,
Don has
one
spoken.
double out of place.
It's a little bad.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. It keeps getting in my eyes. Driving me nuts.
Oh my God, is that your neck?
That was my neck.
Holy shit. That was horrifying. You just cracked like a glow stick. I hope you could hear that on camera. That was he's like, my hair's in my eyes, and he went like that. It was like
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. Your head cracked like
I
a
love the
stick.
glow stick. That's awesome.
That's the bumper
I'm sorry,
sticker.
that shocked the hell out of
Just
me.
give it
The bumper sticker. You're gonna crack your neck like a glow stick.
That's
If you say one more word.
Oh no. But no,
Yeah, it's
so
okay, Don.
with Shayna and Don are talking in the comments here, and I want to bring up like Robin Williams is a perfect example of somebody who stayed positive literally all the time for his fans, for the world. This guy brought so much positivity into the world, and was that smile was fake. He was suffering behind the scenes the whole time, took his own life, and that is, I think. Yep, there we go. Another one.
Did you see the
Another
quote?
one.
Blue sheet.
Took off his shirt, made people laugh, and then cried inside every single day until the toll was too
Wow,
much for him.
comedian.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's so like Robin Williams had this great quote. It was, "Learn how to control your mind before you lose yourself." Right. Learn how what's going on up there to control it and deal with what's happening before you lose yourself, and that's for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
That's coming from a guy who didn't make it.
Right, because on the outside he was authentically positive.
Yep.
That guy, but he was miserable, and that's why jokes and talking to people, were good for him, because it was able for him to share and to change and to watch other people be happy and enjoy, even though down underneath we find out now he's miserable.
So Don's comment here is really important, I think, for the general conversation, which is he's saying that it's a choice. So that happiness and positivity is a choice. It's your responsibility to choose that mindset.
Sure.
It's not, we've talked a lot today about how things around you can make you upset or bring you down, or you might be having a bad day. But none of that really matters because it is a chosen mindset.
That's true.
So Don is saying, like, no matter what, you're choosing that. And
That's
I think
right.
that's really important, because I think that's 100% true. You are, no matter where you are choosing positivity over negativity.
That's why Don makes the big bucks.
Well,
That's why I live in
and
Texas.
That's why we have the grounds every Friday, so people go in.
Hey, good luck with the knee, Don. Good luck.
My life ain't that bad. These bucks.
That's exactly it.
Look at these guys.
That's our daily dose of encouragement.
I'm not as fucked up as I am.
Right. Did you hear those guys this morning? Shit, we got it good. Especially that crazy one in the middle with the blue shirt on.
Can we keep it down, Kelsey? You're a little too
Great luck at physical therapy, Don. We'll see you next week.
Settle down.
You're a little bit too excitable this morning.
What happened to Dad this morning? No Dad?
We had a lot of fun at Spirit.
Still having fun.
Mr. Novak told a story about every single drink my dad got.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? That guy is crazy.
So we've known him for like 18 years. So we go way back.
Yeah.
We're like family. And he got really excited. that
Well,
we
because you're
saw
from
my
the
dad.
same town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of his kids and us, we all hung out with each other. So
Hmm.
my dad, let's just say, was very warm by like the 8th history lesson.
Good
So
Oh, it's
and they're all like
He was a
98 proof
Did
or
he-
more.
Yeah.
In water.
Did he do the one? Was he like, here, you could taste Grandma's buttery crust?
Yeah.
Did he-
And then he gave him the rules. He was like, you got to smell it first.
What? That's a different show.
That's a different show.
Scott's got that now.
No, my favorite thing about Tim Kovac
Sorry,
is
Mom.
how excited he gets,
He
and he
He's
does.
so passionate.
He'll pour it, and he'll be like, all right, take a sip. He's like, now inhale.
Yeah.
No. Now, but you taste it. He's like, now on the background, you taste it. That's Grandma's buttery crust. He's like, now it's coming in. He's like, now you're gonna get the deeper flavors, and he gets really like while
He's
you're
passionate.
Yeah, you're like, bro, just let me take the shot. He's like, no, the shot is an experience.
Yeah,
Let's give a shout out since we're talking about him on air.
He's
Let's
so
give him
much
a
fun.
shout out.
I've
Sounds
known
like a
Tim
good
since He
guy.
was 5 years old. I grew up next to him.
Yeah.
Fucking
He
Tim.
has a passion and a half for making liquor.
Let's get Tim on the show.
We should. I talked to him about
Yeah.
it.
You want him on the show?
Oh, he would do it in a
Have
heartbeat.
him do it on the grounds. Nothing like getting ripped in the morning.
I'll produce that day.
That is not.
We'll have to call an Uber.
Speaking as somebody who's been on the receiving end of that exact treatment from Tim Kovac, that is not anything anybody's trying to do the first thing in the morning. That's
Right.
horrible.
What is his?
So it's Spirit Waters in Cary, right on basically Three Oaks Road and Route 14 on the corner next to Aldi. The
Yeah.
guy is brilliant when it comes to brewing. Great stuff.
You guys might
He's a
remember
good
Not Your
person.
Fathers.
Yeah, not your
Yeah,
father.
Not Your Fathers went
Root beer.
nationwide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his first initial claim to fame. And now it's Spirit Waters, which they produce. It's got some obnoxious.
Sounds like a
amount
great
of stuff.
sponsor.
Yeah, it's
You
gonna
know?
be our new sponsor
Yeah,
for the
that's
show.
why we
You
keep
guys
talking
know him
about him.
really well.
I grew up with him. Hey,
He's
Just
a great
because I
guy.
grew up with him doesn't mean he likes me.
I
Well,
don't blame
I
him.
can
Because I
understand.
grew up with him. He grew up with me. He don't want to hang
Why
with
I
me
love
now.
you.
Does I sit next to him? Then my little comment. I'm like a
love
little
it.
mouse with cheese. You're the cheese.
I love you. You know, cheese.
Yeah,
I like it. Who moved my cheese?
Oh, that's a book.
That's another show.
yeah.
Jeez, they're over. I
That's
love
another
having her in
t-shirt.
here. I love having her. Oh my God, it's already 8:30.
Final
Holy crap.
thoughts. Final thoughts.
enjoy Grandma's buttery crust.
That's right. That's right.
And remember, treat others the way you want to be treated. And
That's
that means
right.
pick yourself up a double-ended dildo.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you. Where can they pick those up?
Right there at the Fantasy Factory on Route 31 in McHenry.
Across from the library.
Across from the library where it's really good.
And it's a Catholic owner, so anybody can come in.
I was born and raised Catholic.
If your
Let's just
VCR
make
is
sure.
dirty, pick yourself up some poppers.
Yeah.
Oh, good to go.
We're open on Sundays, so after church, you can go home and actually, now that you already felt like you're a big sinner, you can go home and finish off the sin, the original sin.
Appreciate everybody joining us today.
It's a good topic,
Was it
man.
good?
I wasn't sure where we were going with that one, but
You say that every time,
no, I don't.
pretty much.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Go back to the
Pretty much have a-
reels, and I'll be like, well, that sucked. No, you know what? But it's a good one because it's something that really plays well into our today's culture and things that are happening. So, I appreciate that one, and it makes it look at things differently. Once again, that's why I love you.
So,
guys.
if you were
Love
going to
your
close
show.
this out, Kels, what would you tell people out there about positivity and being authentic?
I would say first thing is like ownership and accountability, 100%. Like however you are in every scenario, that's how authentically positive you are, whether you speak or you observe. That's what I say.
You?
Yeah, I don't want to take it away from Scott, but I'm just going to say one of my favorite quotes about bringing things into the world. Scott's going to close us out with anyway. That's my number one. I love it.
Dude, let it rip.
Oh, be the change you want to see in the world. Be that change. Bring
Right.
that positivity.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
it's one person at a time, DDOE, daily dose of encouragement. If we can just change one person's perception, if nothing else, their perception, right, a day to make them look at things differently and to help them, which will hopefully, just blow up, right? Because that person helps another person, sends it. That's what we're looking for here, right, guys? I mean, life is not easy, right? But if you share with people and you talk to people, you can change things. So be the change you want to be out there in the world. Help people, work hard, be nice to people, and listen to the grounds. I mean, what else do you want?
Don't be afraid to be yourself, and everybody needs a cappuccino.
Well, that's a bummer. And so is that. Negative, angry, hateful? No. Tired of negative content that brings you and your algorithm down, ruining your day? Don't be that guy. Level up your screen time. Welcome to 216 Creator Studios. We are fun, funny, informational, educational, entertaining, motivating, and we are here for your listening and viewing pleasure. Make sure you check out the grounds. Every Friday morning, we live stream at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Kent, Drew, Scott, Steve, and Kelsey will make you laugh, cry, and learn something new. Or how about Let's Talk Local, a community podcast spotlighting local businesses and events and the stories of how and why they do what they do. Or how about Around the Piano, where Tim Paul and Drew Cappuccino interview new, talented musicians as well as some of the great titans of the music industry. And if none of that strikes your fancy, how about one of my personal favorites, The Stories of the Paranow. Watch as Seabass, and myself research, react, and judge some of the craziest paranormal articles and videos that we can find on the net. And if none of those strike your fancy, we have so many other shows to watch, and we're bringing new ones in all the time. So go to YouTube, 216 Creator Studios, hit that live tab, hit that like button, that share button, that comment button, that subscribe button, ring that bell so that you never miss an episode. Our shows are broadcast on youtube.com/@216thenet/streams. Find us, follow us, and get inspired today. 216 Creator Studios, content that moves you forward.
Cesarean happened where they